Disney parents are a pretty mixed bag. You've got a few great ones. Mufasa, Andy's mom, and Mr. and Mrs. Incredible are all in the Parent Hall of Fame. The evil stepmother from Cinderella, the evil queen from Snow White, and Mother Gothel are all just the worst. So it's kind of hard to know where to put Anna and Elsa's parents from Frozen. King Agnarr and Queen Iduna certainly seem like loving guardians. The more you think about it, though, the more you realize they might not be so great after all. A lot of parents can get a little crazy about leaving their kids alone. Some, known as helicopter parents, can barely stand to let their kids out of their sight. That's just with normal kids, too. They'd be much worse if those kids showed signs that they might have superpowers. You would think anyway. So let's play a game. Imagine that you are a parent. You find out that one of your daughters has the ability to shoot ice out of her hands. Would you just let her out without any supervision? That's exactly what they do, though. Anna and Elsa go out playing with Elsa's ice powers, and big surprise, Anna gets hurt. To be honest, though, she could have gotten ice spiked. All things considered, Anna got lucky. Still, though, if you find out your kid has superpowers, don't be so casual about it. Also, put it on YouTube immediately. That's gold. Luckily, they managed to find the trolls who saved Anna. She just has to live with highlights for the rest of her life. They really should have taken a few pages from the other famous superpowered Disney family. The Pars from The Incredibles have a much better handle on this superpowered kids problem. You think they have it hard with one kid who has ice powers, Agnarr and Iduna? Try taking care of a baby like Jack. Now that's a challenge. After the close call with Anna and Elsa, their parents decided on a drastic change in parenting. They went from a very hands-off approach to pretty much the exact opposite. It's totally understandable to overreact a little bit when one of your kids is hitting the other with ice powers. What parent hasn't been in that exact same situation, honestly? They take the whole thing a little too far, though. Telling your daughter that her life mantra should be conceal, don't feel is about the worst thing you could do. Going through teen years is hard enough. Having to do it while your parents have you locked away and have told you that you aren't allowed to feel anything ever is just awful. Once Elsa starts learning to control her powers, she manages to do some incredible things. Less than a day after trying to control them, she creates an ice palace. She even makes some pretty cool ice monsters. If her parents would have embraced her powers, they could have had an army of ice monsters. Though if Game of Thrones has taught us anything, it's that ice monsters are cooler on paper than they are in real life. They didn't just come dangerously close to turning their eldest daughter into a full-blown supervillain, they also did quite a number on poor Anna. Anna was completely separated from her sister with no explanation why. Think about it, Elsa was her best friend in the world. The two of them went from playing every day together to being separated without any reason. The trolls wiped her memory so that she didn't even remember that the entire thing was to protect her. Though while we're on the subject, getting trolls to mind wipe your daughter is pretty messed up. Why did you have to Men in Black her in the first place? You couldn't have just told her that her sister's powers were dangerous and that she needed to be careful? Things got so bad that Anna took to singing to herself while running through the castle. There's bored, and then there's making up songs to sing for yourself bored. That's Rapunzel from Tangled level right there. If you are parenting like Mother Gothel, you know you're doing something wrong. The king and queen of Arendelle went even further with their paranoia over Elsa's powers. They actually closed the entire castle from the rest of the world. That's pretty insane. It's not like Elsa was freezing every person that walked up to the door. This probably severely hurt their ability to actually rule their kingdom. As a rule, one should never close one's castle off to all of one's subjects. It doesn't tend to make you popular. That sort of thing is just inviting a psychopath to come in and try to take over the entire kingdom, which is exactly what happened. Their insane ruling strategy was basically them inviting someone like Hans to construct an evil plot. That, and it drove some of their citizens so crazy that one of them started talking to his own reindeer. Seriously, is no one troubled by that behavior? That's not normal, Kristoff. It's well known by now that Agnarr and Iduna's ship crashed in the ocean. What wasn't clear was what they were sailing to. The two of them were presumably closed off from the rest of the world like their daughters. What could possibly be so important that it would end their self-imposed exile? Many believe that Agnarr and Iduna were traveling across the sea for a very special occasion. An occasion that's actually from another beloved Disney movie. At the end of Tangled, Princess Rapunzel is reunited with her family. She then marries her roguish love interest, Flynn Rider, though his real name is Eugene Fitzherbert. Yeah, I'd go by Flynn Rider too. Many believe that Anna and Elsa's parents were going to this very ceremony when their ship crashed. Judging from the fact that Rapunzel and Flynn cameoed at the beginning of Frozen, this one isn't all that crazy. Perhaps Elsa's powers are related to Rapunzel's or Mother Gothel's. If Elsa cut her hair, would she lose the ability to control ice? While we're on the subject of Frozen and Tangled, has anybody noticed that Rapunzel goes brunette when she loses her hair magic? Not only that, but Anna gets a blonde streak when she gets hit by Elsa's magic. Is Disney trying to say that blonde hair is magic and brunette hair is normal? As a member of the International Brunette Alliance, I'm very offended, Disney. The shipwreck that took Agnarr and Iduna looked like a pretty bad one. It's a no survivors sort of shipwreck. That being said, this is a Disney movie. There's always a chance that the two of them will show up in a sequel. It's entirely possible that the two could have survived on a piece of driftwood or something. It is possible for two people to survive on a piece of driftwood after a shipwreck. Yeah, that's right, I am shaming you, Rose from Titanic. You said you'd never let go. There is also a great unexplored mythology around Frozen. If trolls and people who can control ice exist, perhaps fish creatures or people who can control water do too. It would be pretty awesome if we saw that shipwreck again, only for someone or something to come and save them. That would add in some mystery as well. Like, why haven't they come home after all these years? Are they captured and in need of rescuing? Has Disney ever done a movie about someone getting captured who needs to be rescued? I'm not sure. Some fans think they already know what may have happened after the two of them survived their crash. Warning, if you don't want a Phil Collins song playing in your head for the rest of the day, maybe skip ahead 2 minutes. You were warned. In 1999, Disney released their adaptation of the classic Edgar Rice Burroughs story with the musical sensation Tarzan. That movie begins with two people wandering through the jungle after surviving a shipwreck. The two of them eventually find shelter and have a baby. That baby grows up to be none other than Tarzan. It is a little bit of a stretch, considering the time frames both films are set in don't quite match up. These are Disney movies that feature talking animals and dancing snowmen, so chronological realism isn't a must. Tarzan's parents do bear a striking resemblance to Anna and Elsa's, even if the hair is a bit different. Both of their dads have really strong jawlines and really long noses. Who knows, maybe Tarzan will show up in a sequel. This would also officially make Tarzan a Disney prince, which is cool. He may also prove to be the rightful king of Arendelle, though I would keep that to myself if I were him. I would not cross Elsa. She can make scary ice monsters. Hopefully he glosses over the whole cheetah attacking their parents thing. Just stick with the stories about how you can talk to gorillas, Tarzan. It's always good to keep things light when you meet your long-lost family. I should have taken my own advice. 2 worlds, 1 family is going to be stuck in my head all day now. There's another famous Disney movie that fans think may connect with the Frozen monarchs. While this theory isn't quite as popular, the facts fit a bit more. You might think that Disney fans wouldn't do an intense investigation of the geographical coordinates of the shipwreck. If you do, you clearly aren't very familiar with Reddit. The Little Mermaid famously has a scene where Ariel swims through a wrecked ship. Some fans think that this is none other than the ship that Agnarr and Iduna crashed in. The ship that Ariel swim-sings through is located off the coast of Denmark. Frozen is set in Norway. Tangled is set in Germany. For those that don't know their geography that well, Denmark is between Norway and Germany. If Agnarr and Iduna really were sailing to Rapunzel's wedding, they easily could have crashed in Denmark. Maybe if Anna and Kristoff get married, Ariel and Prince Eric will be there. Not to mention Rapunzel and Flynn. If they get reunited with their long-lost brother, Tarzan and Jane could score an invite as well. This would be the Avengers Infinity War of weddings. You may think that's crazy, but this is only the tip of the Disney conspiracy theory iceberg. Some people think that Captain Hook was the one who hunted down Ariel's mom. There's a mermaid that looks a lot like her in Peter Pan. Hardcore Disney fans know that Ariel's mom was taken down by pirates. So Disney's kind of known for dark connections to the Little Mermaid. Great, now I have part of your world stuck in my head. Curse you, Disney, and your catchy songs. Okay, this one gets pretty dark, not only because it has some horrifying implications, but also because it's really hard to argue against. You may think that the scene where a snowman sings about how much he loves summer would be the most disturbing part of Frozen. You'd be wrong. At the end of the movie, Elsa gets captured by the traitorous Hans. He imprisons her in this intricate system of chains and cuffs. On your first watch, you don't notice anything weird about that scene. When you watch it a few times, though, you figure out something terrifying. Hans didn't have enough time to create a dungeon of that kind. It was specifically tailored to negate Elsa's powers. No one knew about those powers before she turned the kingdom into a premature winter wonderland. No one except her own parents. It actually makes a horrifying amount of sense. As we've already covered, Agnarr and Iduna really overreacted to Elsa's powers. It really isn't much of a stretch to think that they would have a contingency if she ever got out of control. That's a pretty dark Easter egg, even for a Disney movie. Agnarr and Iduna clearly went to the same parenting school as the dad from Umbrella Academy. Frozen 2 is coming out later this year. Not a lot is known about the sequel yet, but we have a few scraps of information. It has been revealed that we will learn a lot more about Anna and Elsa's parents. There have been several theories as to what this could mean. We've seen a few glimpses of new characters in the trailer. One girl who has auburn hair and potentially has powers of her own is the one that fans love to speculate about. Some think that this character may be none other than Iduna. Perhaps Frozen 2 will feature a flashback that explains how she met King Agnarr. It may also shed some light on how Elsa got those cool powers in the first place. Perhaps the island that Elsa is stuck on in the trailer is where her mother is from. Maybe that's the land where people who can control the elements are from. If we don't get at least one elemental battle like it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, then what's the point? Well, now you all know the secrets about Anna and Elsa's parents. Do you know any more? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more from The Binger.